Right, welcome along. As part of our Adapting to Your Changing Body month, we're talking to Helen Hardware today. Helen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody, and thank you for having me, Emily. So I am one of the mindset coaches in Perimenopause Hub. So I'm an RTT therapist. That stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy. And I help women get to the root cause of their issue and reprogram their mind. So today we're going to be talking about loss of confidence in the perimenopause.
Yes, which is huge. So we're sort of tying it in with Adapting to Your Changing Body because it's one of those ones that can tie in with that. But let's start at the beginning. So the loss of confidence during perimenopause, is that real, or is it something that sort of people perceive as happening?
Yeah, absolutely. It's real, and it's something that I've experienced myself. And I think a huge number of women going through the perimenopause really do experience this. It might be that they just find that they're less self-assured than they used to be, or they may feel that a situation that they normally would be able to control is out of control, or they avoid conflict, which just wouldn't have bothered them. It can be a slow thing. It can creep up gradually, and then suddenly you're faced with a challenging situation and it pushes you over the edge, or it can just hit you like a ton of bricks. For me, it was around the time that I became perimenopausal. I started a new job and I just lost all confidence in myself and my ability to be able to perform that job to the standard that I knew I could, or that I would expect anybody else to believe that I could.
That sounds very, very familiar. I went through similar, just at the same time as starting getting the perimenopause symptoms. So what causes this loss of confidence around this time, so specifically in perimenopause?
So there's a whole load of things. Obviously, our bodies are changing as we're going into the perimenopause. So particularly if you've always invested a lot in how you look, you may find that you're not able to lose weight as easily, that your body shape is changing, and that may be something that you're not comfortable with, or that you're no longer happy with. And we as a society, we invest a huge amount in how we look, so that can really impact a woman's confidence if she suddenly finds that she's gaining weight and she's not able to lose it as easily as she did before. It often comes at a time in life where a role is changing within the family. Children are a bit older, the relationship is changing, they need their mother in a different way, and that can make women feel less wanted, less needed, and that as well can impact that level of confidence, because you have to find a new role and a new identity within your life for yourself. Then there's the big factor of brain fog, and I know that you and I both had many conversations about brain fog in the past, because it's something we've both experienced. And I don't know about you, but I'm certainly past the worst of it now. But when you're experiencing brain fog, it makes it really hard to trust your decisions. You can't think clearly, you start to second guess yourself, and we start to question our own judgment. And that really impacts our confidence and our belief in ourselves, because if we can't think clearly, how do we trust ourselves to act and behave in a way that is right? And so it impacts our confidence, and then it becomes a bit of a never-ending loop, really. And it's massively impacted by anxiety. So if you're experiencing anxiety, which is all to do with the fluctuation of hormone changes, that starts to put stress on the adrenal, which puts us into a natural fight or flight as we're going along. So then that creates those physical changes within the body as well. And yeah, anxiety and loss of confidence are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, absolutely. So for women who are experiencing this, who are really feeling like they just don't recognize this new person that they wake up every morning as, compared to who they were in their sort of 20s and 30s, whatever, what can we do?
First of all, don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to who you used to be or to anybody else around you. We're all on our own journey, and life is about growing, developing, and changing. So I would really focus women to be more present. Just focus on the right now without trying to compare to anybody, including themselves. Drink plenty of water and have a healthy diet. That's always going to help with our well-being, full stop. But also there's huge evidence about hydration and healthy diet on our mindset and how we feel about ourselves. So if we're having that healthy lifestyle, that's going to impact how we feel about ourselves. That also links in with taking regular exercise. They do say anything from 30 minutes brisk walk a day, which I love to do before work, but also think about trying things like yoga, because that brings us back to our breath. It helps with that point I made before about being present. It's gentle movement, but it's learning to move our body in a way which is, if you haven't done it before, is different to something you've experienced before, and can really help us reconnect to our body and accept the changes that we're going through, and also see improvements to our physical body as well. And then the last thing is learn to let go of those little voices in your head that are holding you back.
Yes, that's the tricky one. I'm just thinking from what you've said there about not comparing yourself and things. Now, as many people watching this, and as you know, I have too many dogs. My dogs don't worry about what they look like. They don't compare themselves to each other. They make sure they get enough exercise. They make sure they drink enough water. We just need to be more dog.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're living in a society where we're being told from a very young age what we have to look like and behave like. I was listening to a brilliant podcast yesterday with a mother of 10 children saying that her 3-year-old's clothes, with the 3-year-old son, they're comfortable, they're able to move, but their 3-year-old daughter's clothes, everything comes fitted to the body. It's tighter. We're being told, oh, isn't she cute? And it was fascinating how from an early age we're being told as women that we have to look and be a certain way, and frankly we don't. We just need to own that and step into being who we are instead of who society tells us that we need to be. And we need to embrace our body and accept it for everything that it is. Yeah, bodies take care. That's the thing that I've really learned recently. There is an obligation on us to take care of our physical body, but stop worrying what anybody else thinks about it. And I think that's a key thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how can RTT help somebody who's just feeling completely lost at this point?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. So RTT, for those who haven't heard about it, and I know we've talked about it before, is a powerful new form of therapy which combines hypnosis with the best elements of NLP, CBT, and neuropsychology. But what it does is it gets to the root cause of why we feel or are acting in a certain way. What that means in relation to confidence in the perimenopause is there will be something that has happened at some point in our lives that has created a belief in our subconscious mind that is now rearing its head and making us feel that we're not confident in who we are anymore. So RTT can help people go back and find what that incident is in their life, and it might be something really trivial. What happens in our childhood particularly is something happens and our mind leap to conclusions. They form beliefs, and those beliefs become a blueprint and an operating system that we operate from the rest of our lives. We're not even aware of it happening. It's all behind the scenes. But in hypnosis, we have, I like to think of it as a cap flap to the subconscious mind, and it means that we're able to access those beliefs. When you can see those as an adult, it's so much easier to say, okay, I don't need to believe that anymore. I can change that. And through the techniques that we have in RTT, we can create a new set of beliefs, a new operating system, and instill those feelings and confidences in yourself again. So yeah, if you've lost yourself, it's an absolutely perfect tool to be able to get that confidence and really embrace who you are again and who you want to be and how you want to feel.
And I think just going with what you just said there, even if people choose not to go down the RTT route, I think perimenopause really is a time when we can just shed past us and just start being, I mean, personally, and I know I'm very fortunate that I come from a place of never having really cared what people think about me, but I care even less now, and not in a bad way. Like, I want my friends to like me, I want to get on with people, I want to be happy, I want everyone around me to be happy, but do I actually any longer care what somebody in the supermarket thinks of what I'm wearing?
Mm. And that comes from a tribal mindset. So it's actually hard coded into our DNA, because back when we were cavemen, if you were different, you were cast out of the tribe, then it was really difficult to survive. So it's part of our DNA to be sort of wanting to be accepted. But we live in the 21st century. We're not cavemen anymore. And actually, we've got a great opportunity now to really live our potential and to be authentically ourselves, more so as women than ever before. Through the women getting the vote, and then the 60s and burning the bras, but now we're at a point where we can just own our authenticity. We've got options, and we can step into being who we are and feeling empowered instead of being limited by that loss of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much, Helen. That's been really interesting.
That's okay. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.